weight gradebook set up. Your first task is to verify that you have the right categories that you need for setting up your gradebook. You need to be on the score sheet tab and you need to look in the bottom left-hand corner. There should be various categories listed over here. The only categories that you can use are formal, informal, midterm, and final. Unless you are English 3 or 4, which you need a category called graduation project. If you are Spanish 1 or French 1, then you need an additional category called summative performance. If there are other categories listed in your categories box, such as quiz or project, those categories are not needed. They can be deleted, but if you don't delete them, they're okay to stay there. You just cannot use those categories. Now let's get started with setting up your gradebook. Double click on Gradebook's Grade Setup. Double click on F1 and you should have term weights selected. For classes that have a final, your quarter 1 should be 37.5, your quarter 2 should be 37.5, and your E1 should be 25. If your course does not have a final exam, then your quarter 1 should be 100, your quarter 2 should be 100, and your E1 should be 0. Next, double click on quarter Q1. Now you need to have category weights selected. Your formal should be 60, your informal should be 20, and your midterm should be 20. Next, double click on Q2 and you should have category weights selected. For all courses except for English 3 or 4 and Spanish 1 or French 1, then you should have formal as 70 and informal as 30. If you teach English 3 or 4, your formal should be 60, your informal should be 20, and your graduation project should be 20. If you teach Spanish 1 or French 1, then your formal should be 45, your informal should be 30, and your summative performance should be 25. Now select E1. You should have category weights selected, and for courses that have a final exam, your final should be 100. If your course does not have a final exam, then your weight should be 0. This would be the same for all courses that are listed under in semester 1 that are actually semester classes. You can copy the weights from one course to another as long as it's the same type class, such as a semester class. The way you copy your weights over is by the course that you just set up. You double click on F1, you click on Tools, you go to Copy Final Grade Setup. Make sure you have entire class selected. You would click OK. And then if you have any additional courses listed, they would pop up in this box and you would put checks in those beside those courses. Click Next and it would copy those grades over. This will take care of semester 1. If you have semester 2 classes, then you would switch over to semester 2. Your courses would show up and you would set up the first course the same way and then copy those courses over. If you need additional assistance or you need a visual as to what the exact weights are, you can look in the school's Google shared folder under professional development for a Google presentation called Power Teacher Gradebook Setup. Have fun and enjoy setting up your gradebook.